Cris Cyborg dominates Leslie Smith and gets an extremely late stoppage in that 5th round. What a performance for her, but really the toughness of Smith was on display. First round was all Cyborg, drops Leslie Smith. I think a lot of people would have thought that Leslie Smith would have been finished after that first round, but no. Tough as nails. Gets into the second round, more of the same, dropped again by Cyborg. Third round, competitive action, but mostly Cyborg leading the dance. Competitive in a sense that Cyborg didn't get the finish in that third or fourth, and then she gets it in the 5th. Dominant throughout. The striking of Cyborg with the boxing, especially now that she's gotten so much more patient, is extremely effective, and she mixes in takedowns very well. Now, Leslie Smith is not by any means a top featherweight on the planet. It's, I guess she would be top in the featherweight division nowadays because the weight class is not extremely stacked, but she's not necessarily the hardest fight for Cris Cyborg out there. And Cyborg was tested, went multiple rounds, and not necessarily had trouble. I mean, Leslie Smith landed a couple of strikes, no trouble. Cyborg dominated. But the fact that Cyborg didn't get her out earlier, I don't think that that Cyborg isn't good. I think Leslie is just tough as nails, but I do believe Amanda Nunes beat Cyborg and would still beat Cyborg. Just have to clear that out there because I know Cyborg likes to make the claim that she'd want to run it back. She could win the rematch. I personally still would be siding with Nunes. But still an excellent performance by Cris. Top fighter in the world as far as women's MMA goes, pound for pound. She fights Leslie here and dominates. What is next for Cris Cyborg? Well, she called out Cat Zingano. And outside of Cat Zingano in the top rankings, I don't think it makes sense to give her anybody else. Cat Zingano's going to get the fight. And Cris Cyborg, though, I do believe beats Cat Zingano a lot easier than she beats Leslie Smith. Zingano's significantly smaller than Cyborg. I just think it will not be a competitive fight at all. Leslie Smith on the other side, going to be set back a bit. I don't know exactly who they'll give her. If you look at those top rankings, actually, we'll pull up the Bellator rankings because I don't know exactly off the top of my head where they're all placed. But I think the fight for her, if I can find this here, let's see if I can. Women's featherweight, here we go. I think you can give her a fight between maybe Leah McCord and Leslie Smith next, potentially, depending how much time Smith wants to take off. Could see her also fighting against some lesser competition, maybe even like a Janae Harding if they're looking to give her more of a tune-up. But granted, Harding wouldn't be an easy fight. McCord, I think, would actually be an easier matchup for Smith. And I think that's maybe the way they go because now they got to build McCord as the next challenger. Sinead Kavanagh lost to Leslie Smith unless they want to do that rematch, which I don't think so. We'll see exactly where they go. But Leslie Smith continues as a competitive threat for anybody in that top 10 in the Bellator women's featherweight division, without a doubt. She's a tricky fight. She's not an easy one, but Cris Cyborg will constantly have her number. She would beat her again if they fought. Wasn't really much out there to warrant, a potential trilogy between these two. I think that Leslie Smith is going to have some more fun fighting in Bellator, making some more money. She's 38, almost 39. I don't know how many fights she has left, probably 2 to 3, and I think she'll finish that out in Bellator on some cards, maybe, on those main card slots and entertaining fights for Cyborg. She's going to be here for a bit longer. I do believe she's probably going to make a crossover to boxing eventually. I don't know who the opponent would be, but I feel like she's eventually going to be professionally boxing. Now that Showtime deal is there, I feel like that's where she's going to end up going because they're going to run out of fighters after she beats Cat Zingano, and I would not be shocked if she wants to box. Good card, though. Great fight here. Dominant performance by Cris Cyborg. Gets that late TKO. The punching is dangerous, as always. But I like a patient Cris Cyborg, and I don't see her losing anywhere outside of the UFC. Congrats to Cris, and on to better things here. Appreciate everybody for tuning into the live stream. If you're watching now, I appreciate you tuning into this video, recapping the fight and my reaction to it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you guys have not yet. Like this video too. Follow my social media, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and I will see you all in the next video.